Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Hierarchy of needs, expanded hierarchy of needs, self-actualization needs, applications and examples, critical evaluation. Key takeaways. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a motivational theory in psychology comprising a 5-tier model of human needs, often depicted as hierarchical levels within a pyramid. The 5 levels of hierarchy are physiological, safety, love/belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. Lower level basic needs like food, water, and safety must be met before higher needs can be fulfilled. Few people are believed to reach the level of self-actualization, but we can all have moments of peak experiences. The order of levels is not completely fixed. For some, self-esteem outweighs love, while others may self-actualize despite poverty. Our behaviours are usually motivated by multiple needs simultaneously. Applications include workplace motivation, education, counselling, and nursing. Self-actualization often incorporates morality, creativity, spontaneity, acceptance, experience, purpose, meaning, and inner potential. Self-esteem often incorporates confidence, achievement, respect of others, the need to be a unique individual. Love and belonging often incorporates friendship, family, intimacy, and sense of connection. Safety and security often incorporates health, employment, property, family, and social stability. Physiological needs often incorporate breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, and sleep. What is Maslow's hierarchy of needs? According to Maslow 1943-1954, human needs were arranged in a hierarchy with physiological survival needs at the bottom and more creative and intellectually oriented self-actualization needs at the top. Maslow argued that survival needs must be satisfied before the individual can satisfy the higher needs. The higher up the hierarchy, the more difficult it is to satisfy the needs associated with that stage. Because of the interpersonal environmental barriers, that inevitably frustrate us. Higher needs become increasingly physiological and long-term rather than physiological and short-term, as in the lower survival rate needs. Physiological needs are biological requirements for human survival. For example, air, food, drink, shelter, clothing, warmth, sex, and sleep. Our most basic need is for physical survival. Our most basic need is for physical survival, and this will be the first thing that motivates our behaviour. Once that level is fulfilled, the next level up is what motivates us, and so on. The human body cannot function optimally if physiological needs are not satisfied. Maslow considered physiological needs the most important, as the other needs become secondary until these needs are met. Once an individual's physiological needs are satisfied, the need for security and safety becomes salient. Safety needs. People want to experience order, predictability, and control in their lives. Safety needs can be fulfilled by the family and society, example, police, school, business, and medical care. For example, emotional security, financial security, example, employment, social welfare, law and order, freedom from fear, social stability, property, health and well-being. Example, safety against accidents and injury. After physiological and safety needs have been fulfilled, the third level of human needs is social and involves feelings of belongingness. Love and belongingness needs refers to a human emotional need for interpersonal relationships, affiliating connectedness and being part of a group. Examples of belongingness needs include friendship, intimacy, trust, acceptance, receiving and giving affection and love. This need is especially strong in childhood and can override the need for safety as witnessed in children who cling to abusive parents. 4. Esteem needs at the fourth level in Maslow's hierarchy and include self-worth, accomplishment, and respect. Maslow classified needs into 2 categories: esteem for oneself, dignity, achievement, mastery, and independence, and the desire for reputation or respect from others, example, status and prestige. Esteem is a typical human desire to be accepted and valued by others. People often engage in a profession or hobby to gain recognition, which gives them a sense of contribution or value. Low self-esteem or an inferiority complex may result from imbalances during this level in the hierarchy. Maslow indicated that the need for respect and reputation is the most important for children and adolescents and precedes real self-esteem or dignity. 5. Self-actualization needs are the highest level in Maslow's hierarchy and refer to the realization of a person's potential, self-fulfillment, seeking personal growth, and peak experiences. This level of need refers to what a person's full potential is and the realization of that potential. Maslow, 1943-1987, page 64, describes this level as a desire to accomplish everything that one can and to become everything one is capable of becoming. Individuals may perceive or focus on this need very specifically. For example, one individual may have a strong desire to become an ideal parent. In another, the desire may be expressed athletically. For example, it may be expressed in paintings, pictures, or inventions. Although Maslow did not believe that many of us could achieve true self-actualization, he did believe that all of us experience transitionary moments known as peak experiences of self-actualization. Such moments associated with personally significant events such as childbirth, sporting achievement, and examination success are difficult to achieve and maintain consistently. So self-actualization needs fall under self-fulfillment needs. Esteem needs and belongingness and love needs fall under psychological needs. Safety needs and physiological needs fall under basic needs. So within this pyramid of 5 layers, things can be categorized as self-fulfillment needs, starting from the top, and then psychological needs and basic needs. Maslow posited that humans' needs are arranged in a hierarchy. It is quite true that man lives by bread alone, while there is no bread. But what happens to man's desires when there is plenty of bread and when his belly is chronically filled? At once, other and high needs emerge, and these, rather than physiological hunger, dominate the organism. And when these in turn are satisfied, again new and still higher needs emerge, and so on. This is what we mean by saying that basic human needs organize into a hierarchy of relative prepotency. Maslow, 1943, page 375. Key points. Keep in mind that Maslow's hierarchy of needs doesn't follow a strict linear progression. Individuals can feel various needs at the same time or shift between levels. Maslow continued to refine his theory based on the concept of hierarchy of needs over several decades. Maslow, 1943, 1962, 1987. Regarding the structure of his hierarchy, Maslow in 1987 proposed that the order in the hierarchy is not nearly as rigid, page 68, as he may have implied in his earlier description. Maslow noted that the order of needs might be flexible based on external circumstances or individual differences. For example, he notes that for some individuals, the need for self-esteem is more important than the need for love. For others, the need for creative fulfillment may supersede even the most basic needs. Maslow, 1987, also pointed out that behavior is multi-motivated and noted that any behavior tends to be determined by several or all of the basic needs simultaneously rather than only one of them. Maslow, 1954, proposed that human beings possess 2 sets of needs. The 5-stage model can be divided into deficiency needs and growth needs. The first 4 levels are often referred to as deficiency needs, D needs, and the top level is known as growth or B needs. So then there are D needs and B needs. Deficiency needs. Deficiency needs concern basic survival and include physiological needs such as the need for food, sex and sleep, and safety needs such as the need for security and freedom from danger. Behaviors associated with these needs are seen as deficiency motivated as they are means to an end. Deficiency needs arise due to deprivation and are said to motivate people when they are unmet. Also, motivation to fulfill such needs will become stronger the longer they are denied. For example, the longer a person goes without food, the more hungry they will become. Maslow, 1943, initially stated that the individuals must satisfy lower level deficit needs before progressing to meet higher level growth needs. However, he later clarified that satisfaction of a need is not an all or none phenomenon, admitted that his earlier statements may have given the false impression that a need must be satisfied 100% before the next need emerges. When a deficit has been more than satisfied, it will go away, and our activities become habitually directed towards meeting the next set of needs we have yet to satisfy. These then become our salient needs. However, growth needs continue to be felt and growth needs continue to be felt and may even become stronger once engaged. Growth needs. Growth needs are psychological and are all associated with realizing an individual's full potential and needing to self-actualize. These individuals are achieved more through, say, intellectual and creative behaviors. These needs are achieved more through intellectual and creative behaviors. Growth needs do not stem from a lack of something, rather from a desire to grow as a person. Once these growth needs have been reasonably satisfied, one may be able to reach the highest level, called self-actualization. Growth needs are achieved more than intellectual and creative behaviors. Every person is capable and has a desire to move up the hierarchy toward a level of self-actualization. Unfortunately, progress is often disrupted by a failure to meet lower level needs. Life experiences, including divorce and loss of a job, may cause an individual to fluctuate between levels of hierarchy. Therefore, not everyone moves through the hierarchy in a unidirectional manner, but may move back and forth between the different types of needs. The expanded hierarchy of needs. It is important to note Maslow's 1943 and 1954 five-stage model has been expanded to include cognitive and aesthetic needs. Maslow 1970A and the later transcendent needs. Maslow 1970B. Maslow's motivational model. So this model is sometimes expanded to include cognitive and aesthetic needs, and there's another visual depiction of Maslow's motivational model. And this includes growth needs and deficiency needs. So in this expanded model, we have physiological needs, safety needs, belonging, enough needs, esteem needs, cognitive needs, aesthetic needs, self-actualization needs, and transcendence needs. Changes to the original five-stage model are highlighted and include a seven-stage model and an eighth-stage model, most developed during the 1960s and 1970s. Biological and physiological needs: air, food, drink, shelter, warmth, sex, and sleep, etc. Safety needs: protection from elements, security, order, law, stability, freedom from fear. Love and belongingness needs: friendship, intimacy, trust, and acceptance, receiving and giving affection and love, affiliating, being a part of a group, friends, family, and work. Esteem, which Maslow classifies into two categories: esteem for oneself, dignity, achievement, mastery, and independence, and two, the need to be accepted and valued by others, example, status, and prestige. Cognitive needs. Cognitive needs often linked to or relate to or associated with knowledge and understanding, curiosity, exploration, and the need for meaning and predictability. Cognitive needs drive our pursuit of knowledge and understanding. For instance, a student's desire to understand complex mathematical theories, a traveler's curiosity about diverse cultures, or an individual's quest for life, deeper meanings, all exemplify these needs. Meeting these needs facilitates personal growth and comprehension and a deeper understanding of life and its complexities. Aesthetic needs: appreciation and search for beauty, balance, form. Fulfilling these needs leads to a deeper sense of satisfaction and harmony in life as individuals seek environments and experiences that are pleasing and resonant with their sense of beauty. This involves appreciation and pursuit of art, music, nature, and other forms of aesthetic expression. Fulfilling these needs isn't just about physical beauty, but also the emotional and psychological satisfaction derived from experiencing order and elegance. Self-actualization needs: realizing personal potential, self-fulfillment, and seeking personal growth and peak experience. Transcendent needs: a person is motivated by values that transcend beyond the personal self. Beyond self-actualization, they represent the human desire to connect with a higher reality, purpose, or the universe. This level emphasizes altruism, spiritual connection, and helping others achieve their potential. Individuals seek experiences that move beyond personal concerns, aiming to achieve a deep sense of unity, understanding, and belonging within the vast expanse of existence. Examples of transcendent needs include mystical experiences, uncertain experiences of nature, aesthetic experiences, sexual experiences, services to others, and the pursuit of science, religious faith, etc. Self-actualization needs: instead of focusing on psychopathology and what goes wrong with people, Maslow in 1943 formulated a more positive account of human behaviour which focused on what is right. He was interested in human potential and how he fulfilled that potential. Psychologist Abraham Maslow, 1943-1954, stated that human motivation is based on people seeking fulfillment and change through personal growth. Self-actualized people are those who are fulfilled and doing all they are capable of. The growth of self-actualization, Maslow 1962, refers to a need for personal growth and discovery that is present through a person's life. For Maslow, a person is always becoming and never remaining static in these terms. In self-actualization, a person comes to find a meaning in life that is important to them. As each individual is unique, the motivation for self-actualization leads people in different directions. Kenrick et al., 2010. For some people, self-actualization can be achieved through creating works of art or literature. for others through sports in the classroom or within a corporate setting. Maslow in 1962 believed self-actualization could be measured through the concept of peak experiences. This occurs when a person experiences the world totally for what it is, and there are feelings of euphoria, joy, and wonder. It is important to note that self-actualization is a continual process of becoming rather than a perfect state one achieves of a happy ever after. Maslow offers the following description of self-actualization. It refers to a person's desire for self-fulfillment, namely to the tendency for him to become actualized in what he is potentially. The specific form that these needs will of course vary greatly from person to person. In one individual, it may take the form of the desire to be an ideal mother. In another, it may be expressed aesthetically, and in still another, it may be expressed in paintings, pictures, or inventions. Maslow, 1943, page 382 to 383. Characteristics of self-actualized people. Although we are theoretically capable of self-actualized, most of us will not do so, or only to a limited degree. Maslow, 1970, estimated that only 2% of people would reach the state of self-actualization. He was especially interested in the characteristics of people whom he considered to have achieved their potential as individuals. By studying 18 people he considered to be self-actualized, including Abraham Lincoln and Albert Einstein, Maslow in 1970 identified 15 characteristics of self-actualized peoples. So these 15 characteristics are, according to the Simply Psychology Maslow website, the 15 characteristics of self-actualizations are: they perceive reality efficiently and cannot tolerate uncertainty. 2, they accept themselves, others for what they are. 3, spontaneous in thought and action. 4, problem-centered, not self-centered. 5, unusual sense of humor. 6, able to look at life objectively. 7, highly creative. 8, resistant to enculturation but not purposely unconventional. 9, concern for the welfare of humanity. 10, capable of deep appreciation of basic life experiences. 10, capable of deep appreciation of basic life experience. 11, establish deep, satisfying interpersonal relationships with a few people. 12, peak experiences. 13, need for privacy. 14, democratic attitudes. 15, strong moral/ethical standards. Behavior leading to self-actualization. There are 7 examples pointed out of behaviors leading to self-actualizations. Experiencing life like a child. Number 1, experiencing life like a child with full absorption and concentration. 2, trying new things instead of sticking to safe paths. 3, listening to your own feelings in varied experiences instead of the voice of tradition, authority, or the majority. 4, avoiding pretense, game playing, and being honest. 5, being prepared to be unpopular if your views don't coincide with those of the majority. 6, taking responsibility and working hard. 7, trying to identify your differences and having the courage to give them up. The characteristics of self-actualizers and the behaviors leading to self-actualization are shown in the list above. Although people achieve self-actualization in a very unique way, they tend to share certain characteristics. However, self-actualization is a matter of degree. There are no perfect human beings. Maslow, 1970, page 176. It is not necessary to display all 15 characteristics to become self-actualized, and not all self-actualized people will display them. Maslow did not equate self-actualization with perfection. Self-actualization merely involves achieving one's potential. Thus, someone can be silly, wasteful, vain, and impolite. And still self-actualize. Less than 2% of the population achieve self-actualization. Applications and examples. Workplace organizations and employee motivation. The theory applies to organizational structure and the motivation of employees. To enhance performance, the organizational culture and HR, that is, human resource strategies, must address and fulfill the needs of employers. HR human resource strategies include compensation, benefits, job design, training, cultural development, and performing evaluations. Can be tailored to cater to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Jerome, 2013. What can managers do to motivate employees with physiological needs? At the foundational psychological level, organizations should provide wages that sustain a decent standard of living and comprehensive benefits, ensuring employees can comfortably cater to necessities such as food, shelter, and medical care. Offer comprehensive healthcare benefits, quality health insurance, dental. Offer comprehensive healthcare benefits, quality health insurance, dental, vision, mental health coverage, and wellness programs demonstrate you care about your employees' overall health and ability to afford care. Subsidised gym memberships. Some companies offer monthly gym subsidies or on-site fitness centres to support physical health and stress management. Make the space ergonomic. Ensure workstations, chairs, keyboards, etc. are high, adjustable, and comfortable to work at for extended periods to prevent bodily strain or injury. Pay for wellness services. Some companies offer perks like free annual flu shots, smoking cessation programs, or biometric screenings to proactively address health. What can managers do to motivate employees with safety needs? For the safety tier, offering job stability, secure working conditions, and equitable compensation is essential. Employees are more motivated when they feel both financially stable and physically safe within their workplace. Establish anti-harassment policies and reporting procedures. Ensure strong systems in place for reporting issues confidentially and without retaliation. Cultivate physiological safety. Foster an environment where people feel safe to take risks, make mistakes, and speak up without fear of embarrassment or punishment. Define and reinforce ethical standards. Clearly establish and model. Define and reinforce ethical standards. Clearly establish and model expected conduct to prevent ethical lapses. Clearly establish and model expected conduct to prevent ethical lapses that undermine security. Promote transparency in pay and promotion practices. Clearly communicate compensation structure, advancement criteria, and salary negotiation options to build trust. What can managers do to motivate employees with social needs? Addressing social needs involves cultivating an inclusive community within the organization. Team building exercises, social gatherings, mentorship initiatives, and transparent communication can foster a sense of belonging. Motivation is heightened when employees feel appreciated and integrated within teams. Develop mothers' rooms. Providing clean private lactation rooms supports new mothers' needs to pump breast milk during work hours. Train supervisors in mental health first aid. Equip leaders to recognize signs of depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and properly intervene or conduct. Employees with help. Develop a mentorship program. Allow experienced employees to mentor new ones to establish interpersonal bonds and a sense of support. Model inclusive language and behavior. Use words and actions that are welcoming and respectful to all groups. Share vulnerability and imperfections. Leaders should open up on mistakes, challenges, and lessons to be learned to humanize the workplace. What can managers do to motivate employees with esteem needs? To cater to esteem needs, organizations should implement recognition systems, merit-based promotions, and leadership roles. Leverage unique talents. Properly designate titles that reflect an individual's role and status. Properly leverage unique talents. Properly designated titles that reflect an individual's role and status can also be beneficial. Leverage unique talents. Leverage unique talents. Properly designated titles that reflect an individual's role and status can also be beneficial. Make the most of performance reviews. Regular performance evaluations not only offer recognition but also highlight areas for growth. Feeding into the employee's need for esteem thoroughly highlights strengths, progress made, and areas of influence. Entrust employees with mentoring roles. Having them share knowledge and coach others recognize their expertise. What can managers do to motivate employees with self-actualization needs? For self-actualization, organizations should ensure that job roles align with employees' talents and passions. By empowering employees, presenting them with these challenges, and fostering an environment that encourages innovation, organizations can facilitate their journey through self-actualization. Foster innovation. Dedicate time and resources for experimenting with new ideas without pressure. Sponsor continuing education. Provide tuition reimbursement or subsidies for advanced courses and certificate programs. Offer paid time for relevant reading, online courses, conferences, and seminars. Nursing. The hierarchy provides a framework for understanding patients as multifaceted human beings. So this Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and its various permutations, actually, according to this Simple Psychology website, provides a framework for understanding patients provides a framework within the nursing profession to understand patients as multifaceted human beings. Patient care should be holistic, not just medical. Nurses must assess and address a spectrum of patient needs. That includes physical, mental, emotional, and social needs. And the reference for that is Jackson et al. 2014, Tony Butler and Bayer 2023. And the need to remember references depends on whether or not you're reading this academically, although it is always good to listen to this, in my opinion. Doing so motivates greater engagement in care, faster healing, and improved outcomes. Physiological needs, A, B, C plus D. Ensure patients have adequate nutrition, hydration, pain control, sleep, and physical comfort. Address pain that hinders sleep and recovery. Airway, ensure the patient has an open airway. Breathing, assess and support adequate breathing and gas exchange. C, circulation, evaluate and maintain proper blood circulation. D, decrease level of consciousness. Monitor for any changes in behavior or mental status. Safety needs, maintain a clean, quiet environment with call bells for assistance. Prevent injuries through 4 precautions: blood clot prevention and pressure ulcer avoidance. Explain tests, treatments, and medications to patients to relieve anxiety. Keep patient info confidential. Foster a climate of trust through compassionate listening. Prevent medical errors. Belongingness. Loneliness impedes healing. Make patients feel welcomed and included. Introduce them to other patients. Allow for family visitation and spiritual practice. 4. Esteem. Show respect through courteous communication and cultural sensitivity. Maintain dignity and privacy. Empower patients in care decisions. Explain care in an easy-to-understand way. Listen attentively to their concerns. Make them feel valued. Self-actualization. Align patient care with patient values and aspirations. Perhaps share motivation stories of those with similar diagnoses who stayed active, or provide resources on coping with grief over health changes. Special considerations. Pain management. While pain is typically considered a physiological need, its priority can vary. Acute, severe, or pain indicating a life-threatening condition should be addressed immediately. Hospice care. For end-of-life care patients, comfort and quality of life may take precedence over addressing physiological needs. Education. Maslow's 1962 hierarchy of needs theory has made a major contribution to teaching and classroom management in schools. Rather than reducing behaviour to a response in the environment, Maslow 1970 adopts a holistic approach to education and learning. So this is within the context of education and how you can apply Maslow's hierarchy of needs to education. Maslow examines an individual's complete physical, emotional, social, and intellectual qualities and how they impact learning. Applying Maslow's hierarchy theory to the work of the classroom teacher is obvious. Before a student's cognitive needs can be met, they must first fulfill their physiological needs. For example, a tired and hungry student will find it difficult to focus on learning. Students need to feel emotionally and physically safe and accepted within the classroom to progress and reach their full potential. Forgive me for hiccuping there or burping there. This is normal, and this is a good thing to do, to record yourself reading the website in order to revise. Maslow suggests students must be shown that they are valued and respected in the classroom, and the teacher should create a supportive environment. Students with a low self-esteem will not progress academically at an optimum rate until their self-esteem is strengthened. Maslow's hierarchy provides a humanistic lens for teaching the whole child. Maslow in 1971 argued that a humanistic educational approach would develop people who are stronger, healthier, and would take their own lives into their hands to a greater extent, with increased personal responsibility for one's personal life, and with a rational set of values to guide one's choosing. People would begin to actively change the society in which they lived. Here are some ways a teacher can apply Maslow's hierarchy of needs in the classroom. Psychological: ensure students have access to water, food, restroom breaks, and movement. Allow snacks, flexible seating, and adequate breaks. Safety: maintain an orderly classroom with clear expectations. Prevent bullying, build trust through consistency and fairness. Allow students to make mistakes safely. Belongingness: facilitate community and collaboration, foster teamwork through group projects, learn student names and backgrounds, appreciate diversity. 4. Recognize student strengths and progress, display student life, empower leadership, roles like line leader or tech helper, praise efforts, not just achievement. Self-actualization: help students pursue interests creatively, assign passion projects, encourage goal setting. So 5. Self-actualization. Let me repeat that. 5. Self-actualization: help students pursue interests creatively, assign passion projects, encourage goal setting, provide enrichment opportunities, support challenging oneself. When these foundational needs are met, students are more motivated to learn and perform well academically, but needs fluctuate. Be observant and nurture needs as they arise. Critical evaluation. So, the most significant limitation of Maslow's theory concerns his methodology. Maslow formulated the characteristics of self-actualized individuals by undertaking a qualitative method called biographical analysis. He looked at biographies and writings of 18 people he identified as being self-actualized. From these sources, he developed a list of qualities that esteemed characteristics of this specific group of people as opposed to humanity in general. From a scientific perspective, there are numerous problems with this particular approach. First, it could be argued that biographical analysis as a method is extremely subjective, as it is based entirely on the opinion of the researcher. Personal opinion is always prone to bias, which reduces the validity of any data obtained. Therefore, Maslow's operational definition of self-actualization must not be blindly accepted as a scientific fact. Furthermore, Maslow's biographical analysis focused on a biased sample of self-actualized individuals, prominently limited to highly educated white males such as Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Albert Einstein, William James, Aldous Huxley, and Beethoven. Although Maslow 1970 did study self-actualized females such as Eleanor Roosevelt and Mother Teresa, they comprised a small proportion of the sample. This makes it difficult to generalize his theory to females and individuals from lower social classes or different ethnicity, thus questioning the population-ability of Maslow's findings. Furthermore, it is extremely difficult to empirically test Maslow's concept of self-actualization in a way that causal relationships can be established. It is difficult to tell in Maslow's theory where the scientific leaves off and the inspiration begins. His theory is seen as more speculative rather than empirically proven. So it is difficult to know when the scientific leaves off and the inspiration begins, and sometimes it seems more speculative than empirically proven. Another criticism concerns Maslow's assumptions that the lower needs must be satisfied before a person can achieve their potential and self-actualize. This is not always the case, and therefore Maslow's hierarchy of needs in some aspects have been falsified. Through examining cultures in which large numbers of people live in poverty, such as India, it is clear that people are still capable of high-order needs, such as love and belongingness. However, this should not occur, as according to Maslow, people who have difficulty achieving very basic physiological needs, such as food and shelter, are not capable of meeting higher growth needs. Also, many creative people, such as authors and artists, Rembrandt and Van Gogh, lived in poverty throughout their life, yet it could be argued that they achieved self-actualization. Psychologists now conceptualize motivation as a pluralistic behavior. Psychologists now conceptualize motivation as a pluralistic behavior whereby needs can operate on many levels simultaneously. A person may be motivated by higher growth needs at the same time as lower deficiency needs. Webber and Bridgewell, 1973. Contemporary research by Tay and Gienner 2011 has tested Maslow's theory by analysing the data of 65 participants from 123 countries represent Contemporary research by Tay and Gianna has tested Maslow's theory by analysing the data of 65 participants from 123 countries representing every major religion of the world. The survey was conducted from 2005 to 2010. Respondents answered questions about 6 needs that closely resemble those in Maslow's model. Basic needs: food, shelter, safety, social needs, love, support, respect, mastery, and autonomy. They also rated their well-being across 3 discrete measures. Life evaluation, they also rated their well-being across 3 discrete measures. Life evaluation, a person's view of his or her life as a whole. Positive feelings, day-to-day instances of joy and pleasure, and negative feelings, everyday experiences of sorrow, anger, and stress. So these 3 discrete measures were life evaluation, positive feelings, and negative feelings. This is quite interesting because sometimes you use scales, this is what is known as psychometric scales, to assess these things like life evaluation, positive feelings and negative feelings, but one of the problems is that there's different type of scales. So one discrete measure of life evaluation, as according to this Simply Psychology website, may try and gauge a person's view of his or her life as a whole, but in order to do that, psychometric measures have to use questions. So for example, one scale which assesses depression or a person's enjoyment of media like video games might be different from another person. So, for example, with positive feelings, which is the second discrete measure, it talks about day-to-day instances of joy or pleasure, but another scale measuring positive feelings might talk about the measuring the joy and pleasure that the people around a person provide them. And that also applies for negative feelings, which in this case involves everyday experiences of sorrow, anger, and stress. So the 3 discrete measures are life evaluation, positive feelings, and negative feelings. The results of the study support the view that universal human needs appear to exist regardless of cultural differences. However, the ordering of the needs within the hierarchy was not correct. Although the most basic needs might need to get the most attention when you don't have them, Diana explains you don't need to fulfill them in order to get benefits from the others. Even when they are hungry, for instance, we can be happy with our friends. They're like vitamins, Diana says, about how the needs work independently. We need them. Or, conclusion, Maslow's theory differs from being more purely psychological. Conclusion, Maslow's theory differs from more purely physiological representations of human motivation because motivation is seen as being not just concerned with tension reduction and survival, but also with human growth and development. While Maslow's work was indeed relatively informal and clinically descriptive, it did provide a rich source of ideas and, as such, a framework for discussing the richness and complexity of human motivation that goes beyond homeostatic models and other physiological models. Frequently asked questions: what are some weaknesses of Maslow's theory? Maslow proposes a positive view of humans. However, it could be argued that this might not be very realistic when considering everyday realities such as domestic violence and genocide. Furthermore, the hierarchy's focus on meeting our needs and filling our growth potential reflects an individualistic, self-obsessed outlook that is part of the problem faced by our society rather than a solution. How many levels are there in Maslow's pyramid of needs? There are 5 levels in Maslow's pyramid. From the bottom of the hierarchy upwards, the needs are physiological: food and clothing, safety, job security, love and belonging needs, friendship, esteem, and self-actualization. Maslow asserted that so long as physiological needs necessary for survival were met, example food, water, shelter, high-level needs, example social needs, would begin to motivate behavior. Why is Maslow's hierarchy of needs important? Maslow's theory had given rise to a new way to look at people's needs. For example, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is widely used in health and social work as a framework for assessing client needs. Problems or difficult circumstances at one point in a person's life can cause them to fixate on a particular set of needs, and this can affect their future happiness. For example, a person who lived through a period of sleep deprivation and lack of security in early childhood may fixate on physiological and social needs. These remain salient even if they are satisfied. So even if this person later has everything they need, they may nonetheless obsess over money or keeping enough food in the fridge. This, for Maslow, was the root cause of many neurotic mental health problems such as anxiety or depression. What is at the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? According to Maslow, the highest level needs relates to self-actualization, a process by which we achieve our full potential. Self-actualization people have a more efficient perception of reality and more comfortable relations with it. This includes the detection of what is phony or dishonest and the accurate perception of what really exists, rather than a distortion of perception by one's needs. Self-actualizations accept themselves, others, and nature. They are not ashamed or guilty about being human, with shortcomings, imperfections, frailties, and weaknesses. That is FIST. FIST, W, rather. Frailties, imperfections, shortcomings, and weaknesses. Nor are they critical of these aspects in other people. They respect and esteem themselves and others. And then there's a few references. So this has been a reading of www.simplypsychology.org maslow.html, and the title for this page on the website of Simply Psychology is Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs by Sol McLeod, PhD, updated on January the 24th, 2024.